So we'll do a quiz here with some actual MLB footage. So here we're going to have a fly ball in the infield. There's nobody on, and there are 2 outs. So I'm going to play this for a little bit. I'm going to pause it, and we'll decide for yourself who you think should make this play. All right, so we have a high fly ball in the infield. All 4 infielders are tracking after it. Pitcher is pointing up. So think about who you think should be making this play. All right, and continue the play. At this point, they can tell by looking at this footage, you can tell that the third baseman's made this call, and everyone else has kind of backed off, and he ends up not making the play. In that particular play, the way that it was set up, the shortstop had priority, but since the third baseman called the ball and was not called off, he should have made the play. All right, so here we're going to have a fly ball hit to right field with the second baseman going out and the right fielder coming in. All right, all things being equal, who has priority here? You may have said the right fielder, and you'd be correct. You can see at this point the second baseman is actually calling for the ball. He's already run a considerable distance and has to run a considerable more distance to get to the ball. At this point, the right fielder should still be tracking it hard and call for the ball himself, but instead he kind of just holds up and lets the second baseman go after it, and you can see what happens here. The ball just falls. All right, here's another fly ball in the infield, and we'll go a little bit of a way here, and then we'll pause it. A fly ball in the infield, and I'm going to pause it here. You can see the pitcher is not in the play. He's just pointing up. He's going to let someone else take the ball. Let me go a little bit further in here, and you can actually see the third baseman just did call for it. And watch what the second baseman does. Second baseman is tracking after this, not calling for it, and actually causes a problem. And that's something that we just do not want to see happen. You need to be emphatic with your call that you're going to get that ball. Everyone in the ballpark should hear you. And so what happens is the second baseman doesn't think anyone's calling for the ball, goes after it, assuming no one's there, and actually causes a collision. All right, another ball to the outfield between the center fielder and the right fielder. And play here. They're both tracking after it pretty well. Who do you think has priority of this ball? All right, center fielder. So if they both call it, the center fielder should be emphatic and the right fielder should kind of trail off. But as you see, what happens is there's miscommunication. Neither of them actually goes after the ball, and the ball drops. And all right, for the last one we have here is a ball hit in the infield between the first baseman and the second baseman. So we'll kind of pause this one as we get here. Who would have priority? It would be the second baseman has priority on this as a middle infielder. The first baseman's actually already called for the ball and is set up underneath it, so it makes sense that the second baseman would not call him off. See what happens here? He just lets that ball drop. He kind of relinquishes for some reason. You can see that he actually does call for the ball and just kind of lets it, runs out of the way and lets that ball drop. Okay, let's discuss fly balls and priority for who has the priority for making the catch. And there are going to be times where it's kind of obvious, and we always teach that regardless of whether that fly ball is an obvious catch for a specific player, the player should always call, me, ball, whatever it is, so that everyone knows that your intent is to make that catch. However, there are times when more than one player could potentially make the play, and if more than one player are calling for the ball, there is a priority order and who should release and who should actually continue to go after the ball. And if you know this priority order, it can eliminate these communication mistakes in the field in the course of the game. The priority order basically goes from outfield to infield and from center to the lines. So if you think about that, the center fielder becomes priority number one. Any ball that the center fielder can get, he should really take. I'm not saying that he should go in front of the left fielder who's standing still, but if both players are in motion and the center fielder makes the call and the left fielder make the call, center fielder should take it and the left fielder should relinquish. The same is true if the center fielder is coming in and infielders are going out. The center fielder moving in towards home plate has a better angle on the ball and generally should make the catch and make the call, and the infielder should kind of release and let that happen. So let's move to the corner outfielders. Since center fielder has the top priority, the two corner outfielders both have the second priority. And there's really no case where the left fielder and the right fielder will be going after the same ball. So saying that they're both priority two is a valid statement. Moving into the infield now, priority 3 should be given to the shortstop. So anything in the infield, the shortstop should be taking if he can get to it and make the catch. Again, if the shortstop may be moving out into the outfield, center fielder or left fielder may be coming in. If no one else calls it, certainly the shortstop should go after it and make the call. But if the outfielder, either it's left or center, subsequently makes a call that they have it, the shortstop should release. So in the infield, shortstop should get any ball that he can. Also staying in middle infield, the next priority would be the second baseman, priority 4. Then kind of looking at corner infielders, there are some situations where a ball, specifically one hit kind of over the pitcher's mound, maybe the third baseman or the first baseman could get it. We're going to prefer that the third baseman go after that as priority 5, and then the first baseman is priority 6. And then kind of getting to the end here, catcher would be priority 7. We want the catcher to take anything kind of behind the plate or really by the plate. Again, he should go after balls, but he should kind of relinquish the control to somebody else with a higher priority number. And then kind of the last stage of defense here would be the pitcher. We really don't want the pitcher fielding the fly balls. If it's a kind of a little looper that's right at him, sure, or if the infield's playing back or something and he's the only one that can make the catch, certainly do that. But that's kind of again, the last line of defense there.